from last year. Do you? Last year, we spent time completing the squares. He did.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a big part of your circle unit. So we're going to refresh our memory. So we're going to start with baby steps right here. This is all fair game for your quiz Thursday. Okay, so we've got a quadratic equation. It says complete the square for the given quadratic. I'm going to walk you through how I want you to do that. First, we're going to go through A. You're going to take the constant to the right. So I'm going to subtract 20, subtract 20. My suggestion to you is to take a moment and write down step 1, constant to the right. Notice I left that space between my 10x and my cosine. I'm going to complete the square. I'm going to make a perfect triangle. So the first thing I did was I took the constant to the right by subtracting 20 from both sides. Now, from yesterday, we're going to make that a perfect trinomial, exactly like what we were doing before. So what do we do to our b term? It's divided by 2, so what's 10 divided by 2? 5, and then what do you do with that number? Square it. What's 5 squared? 25. And I'm going to add it to both sides. So step 2 was b divided by 2 squared, added to both sides. Now from last night's homework, which is what Kaylee did over here, now we can take this and write the factored form. What's the factored form? Which is over there?
Oh, goodness. Plus 5.
Plus 5. What?
Square.
Square. Equals, and what's on the other side?
5.
5. Now, last step, bring your constant back to the left.
What's the third called? What did you say that?
Factored form. I should probably put 2.5 in here. Sorry. 2.5. And just write down factored form.
It equals 0?
Yeah, I have to finish that. Thanks. Now the nice part is, if we go and multiply that out, we should get the same exact thing that we started with. So I'm going to pause this for a minute. Let's do one more together. We're going to do D together. So we're going to do D together. First step. Plus 5, thanks. Constant to the right. Leave space. Second step. What's half of B? 25 or half. Square a half. So a quarter. 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. If you prefer the decimals, that's fine. I prefer the fractions.
Wait, what is that? What is that? What is that?
B divided by 2 squared. You tell us. Okay, so now, factored form, what goes in the parentheses?
Oh, plus 45.
y plus 0.5. But I use 10. Plus 5 plus 0.25. What's the last step?
Find constant.
Wait, okay.
Oh,
So it looks like it's y plus half squared minus your, what did you say it was? 5.25?
do we have to write the backwards form?
Well, no, it's like, well, it's the same thing I did here. Minus 0.
Where did the 1
B divided by 2.
have? But,
No, B divided by 2 squared is the 1/4. B divided by 2 is the 1/2.
do you have to say equals 0?
Yeah, you should, because the original is equal to 0. You try C. You try C. And again, I use fractions. I'd like you to get in the habit of the fraction. What do you do first? Take constant to the right. Good. X squared plus 10x. Leave space. Okay. Now what? 10 divided by 2.
Squared.
Okay, is added to what? Both sides. Factored form on the left side is, good, and negative 24 plus 25. Now what?
Subtract the 1 and
So final answer, x plus 5, that quantity squared, minus 1 equals 0. Yay. Okay, part of your homework is 7b.
Is that it?
What's that?
On this paper?
For homework. Yeah, you can do it right on that paper. That's fine. All right, so we have to complete the square for this. Now you're going to say, you got to be kidding me, Mrs. Lever. We're dealing with x's and y's,
Oh my God.
not just x's. But it's actually not too bad. The process is the same. It's just that you have to do b divided by 2 squared twice. Once for the x, once for the y. So, just like we did with the parabolas, what do we do first? Okay, constant to the right. So you're going to take this constant over to the right. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to group my x's together, leave a space. Group my y's together, leave a space. So that means I'm going to have x squared plus 4x. I'm going to leave a space. Then I've got plus y squared minus 16y, leave a space, equals a negative 52. All I did was take my constant to the right, group the x's, group the y's, leave in a space. Question? Okay, now we have to find our b. So for the x's, what's the b? 4. So 4 divided by 2? 2 squared. 4. I'm going to add that to the x's. I'm going to add it to the other side. Okay, now we got to do the y's. What's the b for y? Negative 16 divided by 2. Negative 8 squared. 64. I'm going to add that to both sides. So it's not anything new, it's just you have to do it twice. Now we should be able to do our factored form. What's the factored form for the x's? X plus 2. Super. What's the factored form for the y's? Y minus 8. Awesome. Now we should take our handy dandy calculator and add.
120.
No. 64 and 4.
68.
68 minus 52.
68 minus 50.
Now. Oh! like, what's that? Circle formula. Circle formula is x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared, right? That's the circle formula, because that's what Kaylee told us over here. It was Bianca that told us. Okay, so now, compare. What's the center? -2. 8. And what's the radius? 4. Remember, everything's based off of what we already learned. Here's our formula. I just wrote the formula under there because of that negative. Remember, it's the opposite of what you see. So I see a positive 2, that means it's a negative 2. I see a negative 8, it's a positive 8, and you got a root 16 because that's r squared. Christine, did I just answer your question? Good. Okay, so